All right, family, I'm back again. As I said I was, I'm putting out the other lesson that I wanted to put on for Ishmael's sons, so you can see the contrast of their blessings versus our blessings. Because their sons' names are not insignificant either. The Most High had him name his sons as the exact same way Abraham did, to give you an idea of what they would have to go through. And by extension, the nations as well, because they're outside of the covenant, just like Ishmael's sons are. So this is a blueprint, not only just for them, but it's a blueprint for all the nations that are outside of the covenant of the Most High Yah. So without further ado, we'll just go to where we're going to be referencing all of these names from, which was Genesis 25, 13 through 16, brother. Whenever you are ready.
And these are the names of the sons of Ishmael, by their names according to the generations. The firstborn of Ishmael, Nebajoth and Kedar, Adbel and Mibsam, and Mishma and Duma and Massa, Hadar and Tema, Jetur, Naphish, and Kedema. These are the sons of Ishmael, and these are their names, by their towns and by the castles, 12 princes according to their nations.
So right here, we're going to start off. Let's start off with Hadar. Not Hadar. Nebajoth. Yeah, Nebajoth. I think that's how you want to call it. So the name, family, Nebajoth, means heights or high places. Now, this is interesting because it reflects the earthly elevation and pride of Ishmael's descendants. They were destined to become princes over nations. This height symbolizes earthly power and prestige because they're going to be princes. With that comes power, right? You got these kings out there today. You got these princes today. It comes with prestige and power. But here's the catch. Well, Nebuchadnezzar's name represents earthly heights. It doesn't represent spiritual heights promised to Israel, family. It's a worldly elevation, which is fleeting and tied to material success, as I told y'all yesterday. You can have the high places of this world, but if you don't have the Most High on your side, you're still coming up short. Ishmael's descendants had their castles and kings, but they would never ascend to the spiritual heights of the kingdom of Israel. Because if we go over to Isaiah 57 and 15 and read this scripture here, we'll see what the Most High says. Again, it's Isaiah 57 and 15.
For thus saith the high and lofty one that inhabiteth eternity, whose name is holy. I dwell in the high and holy place with him also that is of a contrite and humble spirit, to
See, the
revive
most, oh, my bad, go ahead.
to revive the spirit of the humble and to revive the heart of the contrite ones.
See, the Most High, family, doesn't care about your earthly heights. He dwells with those who are humble. Ishmael's descendants might have had high places, family, but the Most High dwells in spiritual high places with the humble in spirit. Nebuchadnezzar represents those who are elevated in the world, but without the spiritual elevation that comes from covenant with the Most High. You see it, family? All these celebrities who got all this prestige, all these princes and kings out there who got all this power. It don't mean nothing because the Most High is not with them. Their material success will fade as soon as they are dead. But Israel, we are going to be with the Most High for eternity. Our rule is going to be eternal. Theirs is only until the Most High says it's time for them to go. You see the contrast between them, those who are outside of the covenant and those who are inside of the covenant. So the next one we're going to look at is Kedar. Now, Kedar means dark or black, and this name has serious layers. First, let's get this straight. This is not referring to skin tone. I repeat, this is not referring to skin tone in the way some might think. This is about spiritual darkness, family, and separation. Kedar's descendants became a powerful tribe, known for their nomadic lifestyle and warlike nature, but they were outside of the light of the covenant, family. Kedar represents those people who are living in spiritual darkness. They are close to the light because remember, Ishmael knew the Most High through Abraham, but they are not in it. That's a difference, family. They represent those who have knowledge of the truth, but choose to live in spiritual darkness. Kedar's name, family, reminds us that while Ishmael's descendants had their earthly blessings, they still lived outside of covenant, in darkness, separated from the fullness of the Most High's light. Let's look at this light. If we go to Isaiah 60, 1-3, read that. Again, that's Isaiah 60, 1-3.
That's one of your favorite prophets, bro.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Arise, shine, for the light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. But the Lord shall rise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. And the Gentiles shall come to thy light, and kings to the brightness of thy rising.
So while Israel, family, is called to shine with the glory of the Most High because we are in covenant with the Most High, Kedar represents those who are outside of that light. The Most High's light shines on Israel, but Kedar's descendants remain in spiritual darkness. This is a warning to those who live near the truth, but choose not to walk in it. Those goes for those Israelites out there who know who they are, but they choose not to follow the commandments because they want to do what they want to do. Or all these other nations who have been made accountable because we've told them who we are, but they don't care. They still going to do what they want to do. This is a warning to them too. So we move on to the next one, Adbil. Now, Adbil, keep getting that D and that B mixed up, means disciplined of God or chastened by God. Now, this is where things get real right here, family. Ishmael's descendants weren't outside the Most High's control. They still experience his discipline and chastening. But here's the point. Discipline without being in the covenant is just punishment. For Israel, the Most High's discipline is correction, meant to bring us back into right standing with him. For Ishmael's descendants, it was just judgment for their rebellion and separation. And that extends out to these nations as well, family. When they get chastened by the Most High, that's judgment. It's not, the Most High is not caring if they come back in the covenant with him or anything like that. They're outside of the covenant. It doesn't matter. He don't care about them trying to be right standing. When he brings his fury out on them, it's judgment. For us, he's trying to refine you. He's trying to correct you. He's trying to get you back on the path to righteousness. That's the difference. So Adbil's name reminds us that the Most High sees everything and that no one, I repeat, no one, not even those who are outside the covenant, can escape his chastening hand. But here's the difference. When the Most High disciplines Israel, it's because he loves us and it's bringing us back to righteousness, like I said. When he disciplines the nations, it's just judgment. If we go over to Hebrews 12, we're going to read 12. We're going to read 6 through 8 on Hebrews 12. Again, that's Hebrews chapter 12, 6 through 8.
For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth, and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth. If ye endure chastening, God dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chasten not? But if ye be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then ye are bastards and not sons.
You see that? The Most High disciplines his sons, Israel, that's us. But if you're not a son, that discipline, it's just judgment. So Ad Bill represents those outside the covenant who still experience the Most High's chastening. But it's not the loving correction that Israel receives. It's judgment. It don't matter, family. When they get beat by the Lord, it's because that's his fury. That's his judgment on them. He don't care if they right standing. He don't care if they come back to righteousness. He cares if you come back to righteousness because we are sons in his eyes. Again, that's the difference between us and the ones who are outside the covenant. That's all these other nations. So we go on to the fourth one, Mibsam. Now, Mibsam means sweet smell or fragrance. Now, don't get it twisted here, though. This doesn't mean that Mibsam's descendants were a sweet fragrance to the Most High. This is irony. Mibsam's name represents the temporary sweetness of worldly success. His descendants might have been prosperous for a time, but that sweet smell is fleeting. It doesn't last. Like these celebrities you got out here, they may be on top for a little bit, but at some point, it goes away. No matter how many times they try to get back in the limelight, nobody cares. It's fleeting, temporary. The sweet fragrance that the Most High desires is the obedience and righteousness of his people. His people, Israel. That's you, so-called black man and black woman across the earth, scattered on the bottom of society in whatever country you've been scattered to. That's you. They ain't talking about no Native Americans and Latinos and none of that bull crap with the 12 tribe chart. No, sir. This is black people. And not all black people, a specific sect of black people who are under these Deuteronomy 28 curses. That's the sign of who Israel is, family. Stop worrying about skin color and see who is under these curses. So Mibsam's sweetness is the sweetness of the flesh, family. Temporary, fading, and ultimately worthless. It's a reminder that you can have all the sweetness of the world, but without the Most High's blessing, it's all going to rot in the end. Look what's happening to all these celebrities who's going down with all these scandals and lawsuits. Going the way of the dodo bird. Can't do nothing about it because they are not blessed by the Most High. It has fleeted. It's rotting. It's over. The limelight is up. 15 minutes are over. That's the temporary sweetness of the flesh, family. If we go over to 2 Corinthians and see what Paul says about this. Again, that's 2 Corinthians 2 and 15 here.
For we are unto God a sweet savor of Christ, in them that are saved and in them that perish.
So Israel is supposed to be a sweet odor to the Most High through obedience and faith. Mibsam's name is a reminder, family, that the sweetness of the world is fleeting. Ishmael's descendants might have had their sweet fragrance. These nations, they might have their sweet fragrance in the eyes of men, but it's nothing in the eyes of the Most High without the covenant. It don't mean nothing, family. When they die, it's over. Their reign ends when the last breath leaves their nostrils. That's what the Most High is trying to get you guys to understand. Do not be on this outside with Ishmael's descendants. Don't be like them. Don't follow this blueprint right here that I'm laying out for you. Number 5, we got Mishma here. Now, Mishma means hearing or obedience. Now, this is ironic again on multiple levels because Ishmael's descendants had the opportunity to hear the Most High's truth because they were connected to Abraham, right? But did they listen? No. They had the chance to be obedient, but they still followed their own ways. Mishma's name is a reminder that hearing the truth isn't enough. You've got to obey it. A lot of Israelites out here who fall under this. They hear this truth, but they go and still do their own thing. Who cares about the commandments? Oh, that's done away with. I can do my own thing. I'm going to do what's right in my own eyes. You're setting yourself up for judgment. Ishmael's descendants, family, they heard the truth. These other nations, they hear the truth, but they don't walk in it. Just like Ishmael's descendants didn't walk in it. This is symbolic of people who hear the word, but because they are outside of the covenant, they don't submit to it. Like these heathen out here. You tell them up and down all the time, we Israel. They don't care. They're outside the covenant. They don't care. They keep it moving and keep on sinning and doing whatever they want to do, setting themselves up for a swift judgment in Yah's time. So Mishma's name is a warning to those people who have access to the truth, but don't live by it, because you're going to be held accountable, because the Most High, on the day of judgment, He's going to read it to you. He's going to show you, you heard the truth, but you didn't believe it. He's going to cast you away forever, never to be seen again. So if we go to James 1 and 22, one of our favorite verses here. As James 1 and 22, James lets us know how we're supposed to be.
But be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves.
So Mishma's name represents those who are hearers of the word, but not doers. Ishmael's descendants might have heard the truth, but they didn't obey it. And that's the difference between Israel and the nations. That's the difference, family. That's the line. Israel is called not just to hear the word, but to live it. There's a warning to you rebel Israelites out there who know who they are, but they still don't want to do what the Most High has commanded them to do. Or they hear us talk about it and they just don't care. They still want to go out and celebrate these holidays and whatever else that this nation in this world is promoting. This is what they want. The Most High is showing you what not to do through Ishmael's descendants. You are to do the opposite. Number 6 here. We got Duma, means silence or stillness here. So this name is heavy with symbolism here. So Duma represents the silence of those who are outside of the covenant. While Israel is called to declare the Most High's praises, and we can go see that if we go to Isaiah 43 and 21 real quick, to see what we're supposed to do as Israelites. Again, that's Isaiah 43 and 21.
This people have I formed for myself. They shall shew forth my praise.
So we got to declare the Most High's praises. The nations are often silent in the face of the truth. Duma's name symbolizes the spiritual silence, family, of those nations who are outside the Most High's plan. They have nothing to declare because they are not part of the covenant. What can they declare, family? What can they say about the Most High? He don't know him, and they don't know him. So what can they say about him? But we do. That's why I'm on here, reading y'all this word, teaching y'all this word. I'm declaring the Most High, His name, His word to you, giving praise to Him. Why? Because I am in covenant with Him. We are in covenant with Him. The nations are not, which is why you don't see them talking about the God of Israel the way we do. They got nothing to declare because He don't know them. That's the difference, family. So Duma's descendants represents those people who live in spiritual silence, disconnected from the Most High's truth. They might be prosperous in the world, like a lot of these people are, but they have nothing to say in the spiritual realm. Most of these people, they atheists. They don't even believe in God. Why? Because they are disconnected from his truth. He don't know them. They are not in covenant with him. That's why most of the heathen are atheists. What do they have to declare? That's why they don't believe in God. Because God don't know them. It's that simple, family. And a lot of our people are following behind the heathen. I was one of them. I was an atheist. Y'all know this. But the Most High made sure I came out of that. He made sure he told me, hey, I'm your God. You need to come back to this covenant or you're going to get destroyed like these heathen over here. And I listened. All praises and great glory. So if we go over to Psalm 115 and 17, look at this. Again, that's Psalm 115 and 17.
The dead praise not the Lord, neither any that go down into silence.
So the dead, family, don't praise the Most High. And that's what Duma represents. Those who are spiritually dead, like the majority of the people around you, living in silence because they are outside the covenant. All they talk about, family, is worldly stuff. They got nothing to say in the spiritual aspect of the world. They don't got nothing, family, because they don't have anything to declare because they are disconnected. They are outside of the covenant. That goes for those Israelites too who are outside of the covenant, who want to be like the heathen, spiritually dead. So while Israel is called to praise and proclaim the Most High, Duma's name symbolizes the spiritual stillness of those who are disconnected. Family, I'm hoping it's making sense. All these names, you see it. You see these characteristics in all these heathen around you. And even your own family, you see these same characteristics because they're outside of the promise. They're outside of the covenant. This is how you know someone is outside of the covenant, family. Just go through these characteristics that I'm talking about. So number 7 here, you got Massa. Means burden or oracle here. Now this can go two ways, family. On one hand, Massa represents the burden of living outside of the covenant. Ishmael's descendants carry the weight of being outside the promise, and that's a heavy burden to bear because you're going to get destroyed in the end. On the other hand, Massa can also mean oracle, which is again ironic because while they may have had knowledge of the Most High, they weren't given the oracles or the law that was given to Israel. And if we go to Romans 3 and 2, we'll see who the Most High gave his oracles to. Paul will let you know right here. Again, that's Romans 3 and chapter 2. Chapter 3 and verse 2. Sorry about that.
Much every way, chiefly because that unto them were committed the oracles of God.
That's us, family. That's Israel. The Most High gave us the oracles. These people know about them. They may have knowledge of it, but they were not given the laws. That was only given to us, family. The knowledge of the Most High. That was only given to us, family. Nobody else knows him. That's why these people believe in all these different gods out here, because they don't know the real one. Plain and simple. So Massa's name is a reminder that without the Most High's covenant, life is a burden. You can have earthly success like the majority of these heathen do, but you're still carrying the weight of being disconnected from the Most High's plan because you're going to get cast away at the end. Thanos snapped from existence, burnt up. Nothing will be left of you. We will not see your face ever again. That's the burden they are carrying, family. If we go over to Matthew 11 and we see what the Most High's son, Yahushua, had to say. Again, that's Matthew 11, 28 to 30.
Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me. For I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light.
So Israel is called to take on the light burden of following the Most High. Massa represents the heavy burden of living outside the covenant, family. Trying to make your own way in the world without the Most High's guidance. See, the Most High, his son, through his son, he gives us a chance to take off our burden, to rest our burden with him, cast off our burden onto him, and then take his light burden. The other nations don't have that type of convenience. They don't have that offered to them. They got to walk around with that heavy, heavy, heavy burden for their whole life until they die. They don't get no such reprieve, no relief from that heavy burden. We do through Christ. We lay our burden upon him. We don't have to walk around with all this weight on our shoulders. They do. That's the difference, family. But you got to be connected to Yah. You got to be living in this commandments. You got to be hearing the word and doing it in order for that burden to be cast off of you and replaced with the light burden of Christ. It comes with obedience. These other nations and Ishmael's descendants, they didn't have that offered to them. That's the difference between us and them, family. Stop trying to be like them. Why do you want to carry around a heavy burden when you got Christ, when you got the Most High to give your burden to? So next who we got next? We got Hadar. So Hadar's name means honor or glory. Now don't get this twisted. We're not talking about some divine glory like we see with Israel. This is more of a worldly, carnal glory, a reflection of the wealth and power that Ishmael's descendants and also these nations would accumulate. Remember, Ishmael himself was blessed with material wealth and power, but it wasn't the spiritual promise given to Isaac and his descendants. That's us. You see the difference? They get the worldly stuff. That's why you see all these nations. They got all this money. They going into other countries and pillaging their stuff, stealing their resources and everything like that, accumulating all that wealth. But family, it don't mean nothing. The Most High is going to strip them of everything and give it all to us eternally. They only got it for a short time, family, a short time, and then it's over. That's why they're trying to hoard it up like squirrels out there. They're trying to get as much as they can because they know at some point it's going away. They know this, family. They ain't gonna let you know that. But that's why they're trying to squirrel all the wealth away. That's why they're trying to create all these technologies and everything like that to steal more and more money for themselves, because they know at some point the Most High is gonna take it away and give it to us, the ones who rightly deserve it. The righteous remnant of Israel. So in the Bible, Hadar's name shows us something crucial: the temporary, fleeting nature of human glory. Ishmael's descendants, and by extension, these nations today, had their time in the sun. They built towns, castles, and nations, and they had their moment of worldly honor like these nations do today. But where are they now? The point is, worldly glory fades, while the glory of Israel, through the promises of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, is eternal, family. These nations, they come and they go, but Israel, we eternal. If we go to Proverbs 16 and 18, look at this. Look at this glory, this human glory, carnal glory that these nations love to wield around the whole earth, thinking they're tough, thinking they're hot shit. Look what the Most High says through Solomon. Proverbs 16 and 18, brother.
Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall.
So Hadar's name is a reminder that the glory of the nations is fleeting. They rise, they fall, and they're gone. But the glory of Israel, that's forever, baby. It's rooted in the promises of the Most High. We ain't going nowhere. They are. We ain't. The average empire lasts about 250 years. America has been around since 1776. Add 250 to that, family, that's 2026. That's 2026. This country on its last legs. What a perfect way to destroy this country. Then through whoever this next president gonna be. Ain't the Most High grand? Ain't he grand? Doesn't it just give you warm fuzzies to know that this country is on the way out? Doesn't it give you some joy, some hope, Israel out there who is in this country? And by product, all the other Israelites out there in the other world who have to go under because their country listens to America, scared of America, kowtows to America. Guess what, family? America may be on the way out. I don't know for sure. That was just something I calculated. Could be wrong. Who knows? But it's just something to think about. Countries come and they go. Look what happened to Great Britain. You don't hear about them. They gone. Then America was the next superpower. But America is on the way out, family. Somebody else is coming up after them. Who knows? But that's the fleeting nature of human glory. Which is why you should never be prideful, because the Most High will destroy you like he destroyed Egypt. That Pharaoh was prideful. The Most High smashed him like a roach. Killed his ass. Drowned him and all his army. Do y'all want some of that? I don't think y'all want some of that. So y'all should be on the right side of this thing. Don't be with the heathen. Stop holding hands with these heathen. Stop thinking you are one with them. Stop listening to them when they say, oh, everybody equal. We ain't equal, family. We above them. Start acting like it, please. We move on to the next one. Who's the next one? Tema. Now, Tema name means desert or thirsty. Now, this one is pretty straightforward. Tema represents the barren, dry places, both literally and metaphorically. Ishmael's descendants were people of the desert out there, dwelling in harsh, arid lands out there. But the spiritual symbolism, family, here is even deeper. Tema represents those who are spiritually thirsty, people who are cut off from the true living water that only comes through the Most High in his covenant with Israel. You see these other nations, they thirsty, family. You may not be able to see that because they got all this money. They got all these riches, big houses, lots of cars, lots of zeros in their bank account, family. But they thirsty, family. They are thirsty. They need some water, but not the water that we drink. They need the water that can only come from the Most High and his Son. So these descendants of Ishmael and also these nations, they might have had material wealth and power, but spiritually, family, they were parched, lacking the truth and the promises that were reserved only for Israel. Let's go to Jeremiah 2:13. I love this scripture. Pretty straightforward. Jeremiah 2:13.
For my people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters, and hewed them out cisterns, broken cisterns that can hold no water.
Ishmael's descendants, like Tema, represent those who are spiritually thirsty. They parched. They're like a dog out there, panting. They want some water. But because they are cut off from the living waters of the Most High, they will stay in that condition. But you, Israel, you can get some of that water. You can come back to this covenant. Realize who you are. Start obeying the Most High's commands. And you can get some of this water. And you will never thirst again. I promise you that. Because this water is eternal, family. This is a spiritual water. Spiritual Gatorade, if you want to call it that. They had the desert, but Israel has the fountain of life. So we move to the next one. Jatur. Now, Jatur means enclosure or defense. On the surface, this might seem like a positive thing. But when you dig deeper, family, you realize this is about isolation and self-defense. Jatur's name symbolizes the way Ishmael's descendants had to defend themselves from their surroundings. Remember, they dwelled in hostile desert lands out there, constantly at odds with others. But spiritually, family, this is what the true meaning is. Spiritually, Jatur also represents those who are cut off from the Most High's protection. They had to rely on their own defenses because they weren't under the divine protection that Israel enjoys. See, when you are living in covenant with the Most High, when you are following him, you are protected. I repeat, you are protected. Divine protection. No gun can offer you this protection. No cannon, no missile can offer you this kind of protection. The other nations don't have this, family. They don't have this. That's why they wild out there. That's why they got all them guns. That's why. Because they don't have the protection we do, family. They were out there trying to build walls, trying to defend themselves. But they were ultimately vulnerable because they didn't have the covenant protection of the Most High. Let's go see this scripture here. Psalm 127 in the first verse. Psalm 127 in verse 1. Look at what Yah says. Very simple and straightforward.
Except the Lord build the house, they labor in vain that build it. Except the Lord keep the city, the watchman waketh, but in vain.
So Jatur's descendants may have built fortresses like these nations. They built all these fortresses. They got all these walls all over the place, fortifying themselves from outside forces. Look at that. Look at the fake Israel over there today. They got all them things, all that, all them walls and defenses. And the Most High still be having missiles drop in there and kill all them people. Where your defenses now? They're supposed to have this iron defense. That defense don't mean nothing without the Most High's protection. They were vulnerable. Jatur's descendants were vulnerable because they didn't have the Most High watching over them. These other nations are vulnerable today because they didn't have, or they don't have the Most High watching over them. Their defenses were in vain. Their defenses today are in vain. Vain, family. They're all doing it for nothing. Borders and borders and borders. Yet these people continue to still come across the border. Because they don't have the divine protection of the Most High. Yeah. So for you Israelites out there who want to be with the heathen, you want to live outside of the covenant, this is you right here. Your gun ain't going to save you. Bullets ain't going to save you. Only the Most High can save you. But you got to come back to the covenant. You got to come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments. You got to obey the Most High's word if you want this protection. If not, you're going to go out there, you're going to die like the heathen. Just like our ancestors back then. They wanted to be with the heathen, they died just like them. This is a warning to y'all. Heed the warning. Stop being stupid. So now you got nefesh, which means refreshed or breath. And it comes from the same root as the Hebrew word for soul or life, which is nefesh. Now, this name here symbolizes expansion in life. But again, don't get it confused. This isn't the abundant life that comes from the Most High's covenant. This is temporary carnal life, the kind of expansion and growth that looks impressive on the outside, but lacks spiritual substance. Look at all them nations that came before Rome: Greece, Medo-Persia, Babylon. They spread, they expanded. Where they at now? Gone in a dustbin of history. Same with Rome. They got destroyed, the army. Now they rule spiritually through the Roman Catholic Church. They are in control of all the false religions around the world. They are in control of this system that keeps our people oppressed and on the bottom. Looks impressive because they control all of this, but it lacks spiritual substance, family. So Nephish's descendants might have expanded their territories like these nations do and grown in numbers, but it's like blowing up a balloon. It looks big, but there's no real substance inside. It's all air, family, fleeting, temporary, bound to deflate. Just like all these nations, they come and they go. It looks good, but guess what? They get taken over by another nation. They get swallowed up. Just like Rome, it's finna get swallowed by the Most High's judgment when the sun comes back. Rome, listen to my voice. You may think you big and bad. You may think you run this whole earth, but let me tell you something. You're going bye-bye. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but eventually you are going bye-bye. And these black people that you have kept on the bottom are going to rise above you and enslave you and all your people. And y'all going to have to see niggas on top. Y'all worst nightmare, I know. And y'all going to witness it before the Most High take you out. This is a promise. The book says so. You will be destroyed. Okay? James. Let's go look at James real quick. James 4:14. Look at what James says here. Plain and simple. Again, that's James 4:14.
Whereas ye know not what shall be on the morrow, for what is your life? It is even a vapor that appeareth for a little time and then vanisheth away.
So Nephish's symbolism is a reminder that life outside of the covenant is just a vapor, family. All these nations out here, all these heathen out here, their life is just a vapor. They here one day, going tomorrow like a fart in the wind. Poof. See you later. It might seem full and expansive on the outside. Yeah, America's big, America huge. America got some big influence, but it's fleeting. Israel's life, on the other hand, is eternal and rooted in the covenant with the Most High. That's us, family. We may look like we on the bottom right now, but in the end, we win. This is why it's important for you to be living inside of the covenant so you can take a part of those promises that the Father gave to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So you can be in the kingdom and live out these promises and rule this earth as we were supposed to, but failed to do so the first time around. But now we're going to get a do-over, but it's going to be eternal do-over. Never are we ever going to be back on the bottom again. That's hope, family. That's something to look forward to. That's something to get you through the tough times when you are in this system, when you are at your job, when you are in traffic. That's the hope that'll get you through to another day. It may look bleak for us because we are oppressed and discriminated against all over the world. But in the end, family, the Most High is going to flip the script, turn over the tables. And for the first time in thousands of years, we are going to be the rulers of this world. The heathen's worst nightmare. They have dreams about it, family. I know they do. They wake up in a sweat. They be, oh, boy, I dreamt the niggas was in charge. It's going to happen, heathen. Just wait. And finally, we've got Kadima, which means east or ancient. Now, this is where we get into some deeper symbolism. The east, in biblical terms, often symbolizes old ways, ancient traditions, and the rising of the sun, but Kadimah's name suggests a return to old, outdated ways, ways that are disconnected from the forward movement of the Most High's plan for Israel. Remember, I told you yesterday, Abraham sent Keturah's sons eastward. Remember, that's away from the Most High, because the Most High sent Adam and Eve east, away from him. A disconnection from him. That's what Kadimah's name means. Kadimah represents the ancient traditions of those who are outside of the covenant. That's why all these nations here, they got all these ancient traditions out there in China and whatever. Believing in dragons and all kinds of crazy stuff out there. And these other nations and their religions. Ancient traditions. No different than Kadimah's descendants here. Those who cling to the old ways of the nations, rather than embracing the new life and promises found in the Most High's covenant with Israel. See, they don't get a chance to learn about the true way of the Most High. We're going to teach them nations when we on top. But now our only job is to preach this word to our people, to wake up as many as we can, to come into this truth and live out this truth, to come back to the covenant, come back to the ways of our forefathers. The other nations don't have that way. They don't have that path open to them, family. They don't have that. Whoever is left after the Most High has called this earth at the end of time, those people are going to be the ones who know and be taught the truth of our God. And only then. You're not supposed to be out there teaching the heathen. There's no point arguing with the heathen. There's no need to go back and forth and debating with them. They won't hear. They won't hear. They won't hear. They will not hear. They are disconnected from Yah. Stop wasting your breath. Stop wasting your time and energy on these heathen. Who cares if they don't believe? They are meant to be that way. Stop caring about trying to tell them the truth of who you are. Who cares? The only people you need to worry about is your own people. These other black folks out there going crazy out there in the streets. Wow. Those are the ones you should be focused on. So if we go over to 43 of Isaiah, chapter 43 of Isaiah, we read 18 and 19. Look what the Most High tells us what not to do. Again, it's Isaiah 43, 18 and 19.
Remember ye not the former things, neither consider the things of old. Behold, I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. Shall ye not know it? I will even make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert.
Look at that. So family, these names, all of these names that we just went over, are a reminder that Israel's path is unique, chosen, and blessed. While the nations, including the descendants of Ishmael, may have their moment of glory, may have their moment of expansion and defense, it is Israel, that's us, black folk, so-called black folk living under these Deuteronomy 28 curses. It is us that will inherit the eternal promises. We are the ones who will drink from the living water. We are the ones who will dwell in true security. And we are the ones who will walk in eternal life. And we ended on this scripture here, Isaiah 41, 8 through 10. Again, that's at Isaiah 41, 8 through 10.
But thou, Israel, art my servant, Jacob, whom I have chosen, the seed of Abraham, my friend. Thou whom I have taken from the ends of the earth, and called thee from the chief men thereof, and said unto thee, Thou art my servant. I have chosen thee, and not cast thee away. Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee. Yea, I will help thee. Yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness.
Stay strong, Israel, because our glory is eternal. Unlike the fleeting glory of the nations, we are chosen and nothing can change that. And with that, I end my lessons. All praise and great glory to the Most High Yah for allowing me to impart this extra wisdom on your ears today. I pray you guys were sufficiently edified in the spirit. And I pray that the Most High continues to be with you guys throughout this week. Yah willing, we will be in Genesis 26 this coming Sabbath. Until then, family, stay safe, stay blessed, stay righteous. Shalom.